A very happy World Television Day to everyone. And while I was just making a list for this video that how many shows I have already seen, and in order to make this video, can you believe I have watched over 100 TV shows till date? Welcome back to the channel, and I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. So a very happy World Television Day to everyone. And today, based on today, I think it is almost a decade that I don't have TV at home, but I've stopped watching TV, which is the normal television and the normal channels which we have, the normal TV channels I'm talking about. But that made me aware about an entirely amazing fan fictions, or be it these Netflix, Amazon, Disney Hotstar, or even other shows. The first show which itself started that I started watching was Friends, and that would always be very much special to me. So in this video today, I'll be talking about these specific 100 shows, and some shows which you should definitely do not watch, and some shows which are still on my list, and some shows which I have stopped watching in between. So I was just crazy while making the list of the shows which I have seen, and some of them are very special to me. So first I thought that I could make a video of just top 10 shows, but it is really difficult after you've seen so many shows to just pick selected 10 shows, because there are different genres which are there. There are different timelines which are there, and you cannot really compare a comedy with a cinematic, with a drama, with a action, with a rom-com, with a sitcom, with superhero shows. So I'll be breaking down all these shows, and I've literally made this. If you can see my screen, have literally broken these down into these specific timelines and these specific genres, where and what all shows which I have seen yet. I'll be just giving you my thoughts just in one line about every show out of these. So starting with the fantasy fiction, which are the period dramas. Game of Thrones, it will be a very special part of all the shows which I've ever seen, because it was the part where I was waiting every Monday for a new show to release. Despite of the way it ends, it is still going to be one of the best shows which I have ever seen, and it would be a part of my top 10 of fandoms for sure. Second on my list is another fantasy fiction, is the Vikings. So Vikings is a kind of a show which is based on the time where the Vikings were there actually, and the entire story is filmed and revolves around how he conquers those lands, and how the conquering of different lands is happening. It is an amazing show, and you should definitely watch it. Then we have The Witcher. The Witcher I've recently seen on Amazon, and now the season 2 is also out yet. So again, it is based on a book, and it is a period drama which relates to a particular person who has these magical powers, and the story revolves around him overall in the entire show. Then we have The Walking Dead. Walking Dead was I started watching it somewhere around 2016. It is based on a place where everybody is dead and only a few humans are remaining, and everybody else has become zombies, and it is all about survival. So it would a one sentence would really be difficult to explain The Walking Dead, but again, it is an amazing show. Then coming to Vampire Diaries, I do remember one of my friends recommended me to start it, and then I was addicted to it. Just the part of being how they are these powers and these supernatural powers. I remember when I was in college, I watched this show, and then it led to its the second part, which is the originals. So the originals are the original vampires who have their legacy, and then we come to the third spin-off, which is the Legacies, which is again the third generation of those specific vampires. And all in all, it is a kind of a drama and a love story, you can say. But it will if you are looking for a show to binge watch without any specific expectations, then these shows you can definitely watch. Then we have The Wheel of Time, which is one of the latest show which is launched on Amazon. The first 3 episodes episodes launched day before yesterday, and these are also some amazing drama which is again based on a book, and we would be really looking forward. It could be the next Game of Thrones, I think so. Then we have Dark. So Dark is one of those amazing shows which was released on Netflix last year, and it is based it is entirely in German, so we have watched it in an English translation version. But the story is so much amazing that everything is about time travel. It is about a fictional world, about an weird combination of fiction, fantasy, and time travel. So you will definitely love watch this show. Outlander is again one of those binge watches which I've done during the pandemic when we literally had nothing to do, and it again takes you to the time. It is again based on a time travel and how like the lead character, how the story revolves around her. Sense8 is one of my most favorite movie, which I would definitely rate between my top 15. It is based on how all there are so 8 people are linked by mind. So if you are linked to anybody's mind, and if you have that power, you can immediately get transferred to their place, your conscience to their place. So if anybody is right now in New York, and if you are part of that 8 people's cluster, then you can directly get linked to that person, and you can feel what that person is feeling, and you can see what that person is doing. So it is an amazing show, but unfortunately it got cancelled. And the last one is just Deathnote. So Deathnote is an amazing anime, and it is I again watched this while I was in college. So all in all, it is all about writing somebody's name on your book who you want to kill. So it was, and the climax was also amazing. It is an amazing show. For I've not gone far ahead with anime, but in order to start watching anime, this could be the show that you could start with. The second genre is all about science fiction, and recently I've just watched one of the best science fiction shows ever, which is The Expanse, and it is on Amazon Prime, and the next season is going to be out very soon. So it is all about in future where Earth is just one country, Mars is a different country, and there are these collaborations and everything which happens out of the space, and there is a belt which kind of connects everything, and the basic source of life is water, and we probably found water in a particular planet somewhere, probably it is Jupiter, and from there comes a belt where people are born over there, and everything revolves around a particular proto molecule which is being discovered, and because of that all the problems which will be happening in the future. So cinematic wise, science fiction wise, filming wise, story wise, this is one of the best science fiction shows which I've ever seen. Next we have Manifest, again one of the brilliant show which I discovered last year. It is all about a plane getting time traveled along with all the passengers inside it to a future, and returning back on the same day according to them. But when the plane returned back, it was after 5 years ago, but nobody from that plane was aged. For them it was just 3 hours of flight. So it again revolves some amazing theories, amazing mixtures, and unfortunately the show was going to end, but thankfully Netflix has revived it, so I'm really happy about it. Next we have is Westworld, again one of the most amazing, brilliant cinematic drama which you will see, which is entirely based on a futuristic world, and the story is based on that. Next we do have is Lost in Space, which is specifically about a family and everything in future which happens all around a family who gets lost, and then we have these amazing theories about what would be happening with them. So again it is available on Netflix. Next we have is Upload, which is all about an afterlife experience. So it is all about uploading your soul into a cloud, so even after you are dead you are able to live like forever, and I'm really interested to watch how the second season would be all about. Space Force is again that kind of science fiction which has Steve Carell, so automatically it becomes comedy, because just watching Steve Carell on a screen trying to do his thing is just the best part. Is the funniest part about him. And it is all about a Space Force, which is a different department of the United States, which sends which sends a first which sends a kind of a mission on Moon, and I'm really curious to see what would be happening to them, because season 1 ended on a a note which was really, really bad. So season two, I'll be expecting them very soon. Now, Black Mirror is one of the best shows, which is a kind of a one episode show where every episode the story changes. It is based on time travel. It is based on fiction. Some shows are based on typical drama. Some shows are based on some amazing things, and in one of the shows you actually get to select how the story would unfold. So if you're watching this on your phone, you will love the entire experience of this show. Next we have is Away, which is again one of the amazing like space travel show which I've recently watched, which is on Netflix. And the last one we have under sci-fi is Stranger Things. It is an amazing show how Eleven develops her power, and like a small girl who has so much power, and there are different worlds which are linked to it, which has no connection with the local people. It is just a fiction fantasy and a little bit related to sci-fi on my list. Next, we have just a list of some Indian shows which I've seen so far, and are some what which I've liked, some of them which I've loved based on some specific parts. So to start with Mirzapur, again, it is an amazing. I don't have to tell you what exactly Mirzapur is all about. It is one of the best acting that is Pankaj Tripathi is known for, and he has given us so many other movies because of Mirzapur. He has become so much famous, and the entire story is all about. It is really amazing, which how it unfolds, and we'll be really forward looking to see what the next season is all about. Out of Love is currently streaming on Hotstar, and it is about a kind of a broken marriage, how they are still struggling to fight. And one of the reason which I kept watching this show was about its filming, because it is filmed in Coorg, which is an amazing place, and I would love to travel there somewhere. Inside Edge is all about an Amazon show which is about cricket and how politics happens during different matches. And again, Vivek Oberoi, Richa Chadda has done some amazing roles in these. Kota Factory is a recent adaptation of the previous show, which was just on YouTube, and now it is officially available. And it is all about how what struggles people go through when they are pursuing their engineering, and everyone who goes to Kota would definitely relate to this movie, and every person who has done engineering would definitely relate a lot to the show and the struggle that we've been through for all 4 years. And the next is Tripling, which is all about three siblings traveling on a tour, and it would be really hilarious for this third season as well. And then we go to Sacred Games, which is one of the surprising part when a lead movie star like Saif comes to the OTT platforms, and again along with him Nawazuddin has an amazing job, and the overall now the next season would also be very much amazing, because it is all about a cop trying to find a villain who has done some brilliant things from a villain's perspective, not brilliant and good in that sense, but the story and the way that everything is portrayed is really amazing. And next we have The Pictures, which is again one of the Marvel which is currently available on TVF. Then we have then I recently watched Bandish Bandits, which was just I have just seen that movie basically because it was shot in Jodhpur and had recently been to Jodhpur, and I just wanted to see how the filming is done. But at the end, the musical part was really amazing, because it is based on the music of those times, and how these royal families are related with respect to the music. Then recently I watched The Empire, which was surprisingly good because I didn't want it to compare with Game of Thrones, because many people are comparing it to GOT, but it is altogetherly based on a different world from the Indians' perspective, and I really appreciate how much effort they have put in with respect to the all VFX and everything. And one of my very favorite and one of the cutest TV show which is currently streaming on the mini TV of Amazon. It is adulting. Yashaswini Dayama and Aisha Ahmed. The first two seasons are available on YouTube, but the third would be available on Amazon mini TV. All of them are again free. And recently I've watched Aspirants as well. Again, it is one of the amazing shows which is a marvel, and it is really amazing to see this show, a show like these, which is within the top list of even all the other other shows as well. Next genre which we'll be going to is drama, which technically Game of Thrones should be a part of it, but I put it in under fantasy fiction. So start with drama. The first show is Euphoria, which I've loved watching because it is all about how a girl goes through all the things which a teen goes through in that particular time when you are not really sure about what things are going on in your head, and with dealing with depression, dealing with all the things that you are happening when you are that much anxious in that age. Then This Is Us is one of my most favorite family show, which is related to a family, the Pearsons, and which is a family of two who had twins, and they adopt a kid, and then what happens, and all of them are together, and it is currently still ongoing. So you should definitely watch this show. Then we have Grey's Anatomy. I was never a fan of these long running shows, but pandemic, you would not believe me, I have made a pandemic blog. The link I'll link in the description. I have literally, when the pandemic began, for the first around 1.5 months, I have binge watched all the 16 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. So I have now become a fan of and I've almost become a fan of this show now. And then we have the morning show, which I recently watched because of the sole reason for watching it was Jennifer Aniston, because this is one of the best shows that where her acting point of view has come through really amazing. Then we have Riverdale, which is again a kind of a teenage drama which you would love watching. Then we have Solos, which is again a one episode show, just like it is. You can say that it is a kind of a depiction which Amazon has done from Netflix, because just like Black Mirror, this is similar to a Solos, where in every episode there is a single character who is telling their single stories. Then we have 13 Reasons Why, which is an amazing show. People might not like this show because it was related to a suicide, but the way that they have made the show and the way that the story progresses, it is really, really amazing. Then we have Breaking Bad, which is by far one of the top 10 shows which I've ever seen. The way story goes, the way everything moves, the story, the surprises that you get, it is indeed one of the best shows which I've ever seen. Then we come to Narcos again as a part of playing these kind of shows and trying to portray these topics. It is a little bit difficult to show how the story would unfold, but again, Narcos had done an amazing job while doing it. And then we finally have Famous in Love. So this is just a kind of a chick flick drama which I had seen while I was watching, I think, Grey's, and then I was just kind of moved to a different action thing. So I just wanted to kind of watch a kind of a chick flick drama. So Famous in Love is just a part about a story of a girl who becomes suddenly famous and gets all the stardom, and what happens with her. It is a kind of a happy go lucky show that you can go for. Next we have is superhero genre, which is currently the best genre which we are witnessing because it is an ongoing genre which is happening. Starting with the Netflix show Lucifer, it will give you an amazing series. It is an amazing show, obviously, based on the Marvel's character, the Lucifer. Then we have the series of the MCU shows, which kind of started with Wanda, and then we had Falcon, then we had Loki, and then we had What If, which are all the similar shows based on the MCU's timeline. So if you are a Marvel fan and if you are a Marvel Cinematic fan, then definitely you should watch these shows. And if you are a fan, then you must have already watched all these shows, because these are directly linked to the story which is happening with the original MCU. Because the things which have happened in this show are directly going to impact the main MCU storyline, movies as well. So these shows are also as important as them. And then we come to the DC universe, where I've just seen the Arrow, the Flash, the DC Legends of Tomorrow, and recently the Supergirl. So all these shows are again a kind of Arrowverse, they call themselves, where we have a kind of a big reunion of all the episodes, like a crossover of all the episodes where the story is linked from one fandom to another show to the another show, and the story continues in that similar way. We also have some other shows, but I've not seen them shows, because honestly after watching these shows, I thought that this is it for these DC universe. I don't have to watch the Batwoman or the Stargirl or even the spin-off which is now created for Superman and Lois, because after Supergirl ended recently, it had its finale. So I thought that with respect to Arrowverse, these four shows are enough if you would like to if you would like to observe the DC universe from a basic point of view, because these shows have given you a kind of a in-depth information about how exactly their central cities or the overall cities where these characters are based on. And as a matter of fact, Marvel is making a big thing out of the multiverse. But if you have seen Arrow and Flash, when it kind of really started back in 2012 or 13, we have already known about these multiverses, which were already existing in DC and MCU. But MCU kind of started this now, but DC already had like Earth 1, Earth 2, and different types of Earth, and they had already started way back in the past. So multiverse was not a new big surprise to us when we got to know, because we've already seen the DC universe. And finally, on the superheroes things, we have The Boys, which is undoubtedly one of the best show which Amazon has ever tried making. They are trying to be the superheroes, but I don't want to spoil the story for you. So you can just watch the show and decide for yourself whether they really are superheroes, or has anybody made them superheroes. But it is also a part of a very hilarious move, and every superhero show kind of tries to portray a particular main character as the lead character, as a hero. But here we get to see the Homelander, which is my favorite character. He is the biggest villain in the show, and he would be you could call him as the next Joffrey. Next genre is the shows which I've really loved only because of their cinematography, the way the camera moves and the way entire filming is done. So the first part of it is The Crown. I really loved watching the Buckingham Palace and everything which was portrayed from the first season itself. Although now I am really surprised to see Umbridge has been casted as the Queen, but that's an altogether different topic. Then we have House of Cards, again an amazing show about politics, which gives you an amazing view with respect to the cinematic point of view. Mr. Robot or Suits, or even the third show, which is the Chernobyl. The cinematography wise, they are really amazing. But talking more about Suits, it is all about the lawyers and the firms in New York and how the story unfolds. It is a must watch if you are a fan of fiction and how politics is played, or how exactly an amazing story to watch through. And then we have like Rain, which is again a part of which I should have put that in under fiction fantasy, because it is a kind of a part of a history, but it's still an amazing thing to watch from the perspective of a cinematic point of view, because it is a part of a history. It is based on Queen Mary, which is the Queen of Scots. And finally, we have the Downton Abbey, which is really an amazing show to watch through, because I was just curious about how the shows, what things are actually happening while they are here slaving India, and what things are happening in those in their actual families, where there are these royal families, they have their workers, and how clashes happen and how the story unfolds between them. So this show kind of portrays that storyline. And next we have my most favorite genre, which is the comedy, and it had to start with Friends. Then we have the Friends is all about six people living in New York, and and the show revolves for around 10 years, which is the best show it could be of that particular time, who could sustain that audience for that longer period of time. Because I still know that even Grey's Anatomy is having like around 16, 17 seasons, but they don't have the fans who have been with them for such a long time. Either they have fans who have started watching the show recently, or they might have had fans who are watching still from the first show. But Friends is one of the best show which I would rate on my top 5 list. Then we have The Office, which is again an amazing show. Just for the lead character, the office manager, Michael Scott himself, Steve Carell, just by looking at him, sometimes it makes me laugh. The way the faces he makes, or the thoughts that he has, or his dialogues are super, super amazing. Then we have Silicon Valley, which is again an amazing show from a technical perspective. Then we have The Big Bang Theory, which is again based on an amazing science fiction or a science comedy, which we can call it as. And it is also one of the most most long-running show which I've ever seen. Then a spin-off to Big Bang Theory is Young Sheldon, which talks about why Sheldon the way he is and why he was. So it is an again a justified spin-off that we've got, and how he's growing up and it is still alive. So we will still get to see the future parts as well. And I hope that he could even keep making next episode as and when the actor grows himself. So we would probably get to see some more of those shows as well. Next we have is Modern Family, which was again a show which was about family with different genders, with different like the theories with respect to that show of is itself. It is a model family. So you have some amazing depictions from which it is overall calculated from a different perspective. We have a very subtle tone throughout the show. It is again made a kind of a documentary type where the characters are interacting with the camera while they are having their own comedy. So it is again altogetherly a different part of comic which we have. Next of which I have on my list is Veep. So I have seen this show for such a long time, and the major lead actress Selena Meyer. She's supposed to be the president, but she always ends up turning out to be the VP, and that is why the name Veep. It is a hilarious show, and it will give you some amazing actors which are really amazing. Then I have The Middle, which again I watched in pandemic. It is an absolute family comedy show which you can see. It is about just a family in staying in the countryside of the states, and they have this relation of how the kids grow up and how they go to school and how they go to high school and then the college, and an amazing family depiction which I've seen. Then we have a kind of a Parks and Recreation show which is about which is again not that funny, but again it is based from the creators of The Office. So I saw this show, but this show would kind of make you disappoint. But again, watching an actor as big as Chris Pratt in a show like this is again an amazing thing. But you will find it slightly funny, but it is not too much funny as well. Then we have How I Met Your Mother. It is again one of the initial shows which I have seen after Friends, and I thought it is very much similar to it, or it was kind of based on it, just trying to portray the real time message, because Friends started way back in 1990s. This was being in 20s. Initial 20s. So this is a kind of a amazing show if you're watching it from a fresh perspective, not comparing it to Friends. You would definitely love this show. Next we have is The Two Broke Girls, which I recently saw, and I was not a fan of a sitcom, but after a time Kat Dunning becomes a little bit irritating, but at the same time you kind of like the way that her jokes are, and the other character is also very good. I just really don't want to talk about the rest of the cast because they are just not that much funny in the show. So I could even put this show on the don't watch list, but currently we could put it under comedy. Then we have Better Call Saul, which is again about kind of an amazing show which you should definitely watch. And finally we have Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is one of my most favorite comedy action show which recently ended. It is all about the New York cops and the 99th precinct of the NYPD, and it is all about a particular precinct and their relationships and how they catch people. At the same time, it is very hilarious. Next, we have on the action genre, which is starting with Quantico, which is I started watching only sole reason for Priyanka, but I don't think so I like that show that much, because it was the first and second seasons were really good, but after that they were not able to sustain the way that they had started the show in the first place. Then we have Whiskey Cavalier, which was again a show which I started because of Vedas, and later it just got cancelled. So I am really curious what would happen. I was curious what would happen in the next, but now we would never know. Then we have one of the amazing shows which I discovered again during the pandemic, which is Blind Spot, where the story is all about a girl who wiped her mind, but later we get to know that it was something else. So you should definitely watch this movie. I will not at all spoil the story for you. Then we have obviously Money Heist, which is one of the best shows about conning and robbing and everything that we've seen in the past, which is currently still happening, and the next season would be out very soon. Next we have is this list would have been really incomplete without Prison Break, which is again an amazing show about both the characters who they have played. The way that the story goes away is an amazing show. Then we have the rest of the three in the list is just from Hotstar specials, which recently I have watched, and I thought that they were worth being on the list. Beat Family Man, beat Special Ops, or beat Arya. All the three are currently streaming on the Disney Hotstar under the Hotstar special section. Next, I just sort of making a separate list for the rom-coms because sometimes some shows are really you should really watch them to make you feel good or a feel good type of shows. So starting with Modern Love, again there are two seasons, first season as well as season two. Every show has a different storyline. Every show has a kind of a different storyline where every character and every story depicts a different perspective, be it related to old age, be it related to different ages, be it based on gender, based on sexuality. It is everything amazing with this show. Next two shows are one of my favorite shows because Little Things was started on YouTube and then it followed on Netflix. And Mismatch is and Little Things I'm only watching for Mithila Parker, and Mismatch I'm only watching for Project Takoi mostly saying. And the next season would be out as well very soon. Four More Shots Please was again a show which was I started watching because of Bani, and then it turned out to be, and it also was kind of giving good vibes because they were traveling in some amazing places. So it is always good to see shows which are based on these amazing locations. And then I recently binge watched all the seasons of Gossip Girl, which was the original season, and I kind of felt better because I was having kind of a break between some action shows, and this was sometime between January or February I think. And after then we have Fleabag. So I was really not sure which category Fleabag comes into because she has this amazing comic timing. At the same time, there is so much dark humor. At the same time, there is so much sadness. So Fleabag is originally a masterpiece which has been created. Then we have the Mindy Project. So if you have seen The Office and if you are a fan of Kelly, then it is based on her, not exactly continuing her story, but Mindy herself, Mindy Kaling, and even though show she has named by her own name, and it is a kind of a different story which would kind of make you feel good. Then we have Permanent Roommates, which I've seen way back ago on YouTube, and lastly we have Sex Education, which is still streaming on Netflix. Now I have a list of shows which I kind of left off because either they bored me or either I wasn't having time. But probably I'll find some time when I absolutely have nothing to do. And out of that list, it starts with Supernatural, True Blood, Shameless, which is like so many seasons, so I'm not sure whether I would watch it again or not. Agents of Shield had started in between, but I'm not sure whether I would be able to complete it or not. So it is still on a midway. One Tree Hill I have seen like 3 to 4 seasons, but after that I was like done with what things that they were doing. Runaways was a part of Marvel superheroes of kind of kids, but the story unfolded with respect to their parents as well, but it was no way linked to the MCU, so I just thought of not continuing with it. And Mozart in the Jungle is still pending on my list because I kind of left after what happened after season 3 finale I think, and I think I might restart it, but currently this is still being pending on my list. And then we have a list of please don't watch these shows, and first show out of these is The Office India. It is literally a copy version of The Office US. Even that's what she said, which is one of the most catching line of Michael Scott. Even that has been translated to Hindi, so it is really a cringy show which I have been through, which is available on Hotstar. And next. Again, an unpopular opinion, but I really think that you should waste your time watching Two and a Half Men. It is just based on how they are spending their lives and what they are doing. The story doesn't lead or it doesn't give anything apart from just their what's going on with their lives. And later, and first half at least it is very good, but later the main character himself gets replaced by Ashton Kutcher, making the show even more boring. So it was one of the worst shows which I've ever seen. And then I do have a kind of a to watch list list as well, which starts with You. Then I have a Blacklist. I want to watch Dexter. I even want to watch Hellbound or Succession or Fear the Walking Dead, which is still streaming. And then we have The Handmaid's Tale or Orange is the New Black, or even Mrs. Marvel's Maisie's and Killing Eve and Arcane, and even The Peaky Blinders. So out of these two watch lists, do let me know if you want me to watch any of these shows, or any of these shows are not that much worth watching. And I think that is it for all the 100 shows which I have ever seen till yet. I might have definitely missed on some of the shows, but currently, based on today's day, which is the World Television Day, I just thought of making this video. So that is it for the 100 shows which I've seen so far. I will not call them as the top 100 shows which are there out on the internet, but definitely these are some of every show has a kind of a good memory that I have attached to. So all shows are in some other way happy to me, only apart from The Office India. But even that has kind of Gauhar Khan and even that kind of has Gauhar Khan and Mallika Dua in it, so it has a good memory. And Two and a Half Men, some places it is hilarious, but not that much hilarious. But yes, that is it for all in all 100 episodes. I will not call them as the top 100, because there are a lot of amazing shows which are still more better in different languages, which would still be coming out on Netflix or on these OTT platforms, which we could definitely see in the near future. And all in all, my experience. I had to share it on the World Television Day, because the recent experiments which I've been making on the channel of doing the reaction reviews, or they have kind of giving me some sane of mind throughout whichever things I'm going through. It is kind of making sense, because I was always making a kind of a hashtag while I was doing the digital art on my Instagram about fiction over reality, and how fiction kind of makes you away from the real things that are happening, which keeps you sane. So TVs are definitely good. In World Television, they should definitely be celebrated, because they give you a kind of a break from your real life altogether. So thank you so much for watching until here. Do let me know what you think about the overall video, and do let me know what are your favorite shows that you've ever seen. And if I've missed any of the shows, do let me know in the comments as well, because it was really a difficult decision to line up all the shows and making a literal Excel sheet about them. So thank you so much for watching until here, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet, and I'll be meeting you in the next video.